Hey guys, I'm Mike Bruno, and for my first analysis project, I chose Mozart's Sancta Maria Mater Dei, K number 273. This piece is an example of Mozart's short choral works. It's not clear the exact reason Mozart composed the piece, but most historians believe it was written for the Feast of Dedication of the Blessed Virgin in Salzburg, September 9, 1777. The first thing I did after choosing this piece was to read the performance notes, which indicated 3 clear sections, but after listening to it, it sounded more like a 5-part rondo, until I dug in to some harmonic analysis. This clearly showed that the piece does have 3 distinct sections, begins in F major, modulates to C major, and returns to F major. This seemed to indicate sonata form, but some of the happenings in what I labeled the recapitulation didn't quite jibe with what I expected. As a result, I developed my first question simply, what is the formal structure of this piece? After several subsequent listenings, I noticed that the soprano part near the end of the piece reminded me of the violin part earlier in the piece. Therefore, a second question emerged. How did Mozart use imitation in instrumental and vocal parts to provide some structural unity to the piece? In brief, this is what my investigation concluded. The piece establishes a primary tonal area of F major with the opening harmony. Mozart uses a chromatic passing tone in the principal theme going from 1 to 4. While not significant, it is a clear indication of a return to this theme later on in the piece. The piece then modulates to the dominant C major by measure 8. The following 8 measures reinforce this new sense of tonic, thus establishing a secondary tonal area by the time we reach the secondary theme at measure 17. The expository material ends at measure 28 with a perfect authentic cadence in C major. The developmental material is very standard. It expands upon the principal theme in the dominant key and employs some light modulation until measure 45, where we get an inauthentic cadence. It was at this section of the piece that I was slightly caught off guard. As a listener, I expected to hear the principal theme in the tonic key to begin the recapitulation. I know that doesn't have to happen, but it's what I expected. As we begin the third section of text, Mozart is still in the dominant key, but he is transitioning back to tonic. The 2 measures shown here represent predominant moves that re-establish the C major triad as dominant rather than tonic. Sancta functions as an augmented 6th chord to 5, and Maria as a diminished 7 to 5. We are now set to hear the principal theme in the tonic key. Except Mozart doesn't give us the principal theme. He gives us the secondary theme. Even though it is once again in the primary tonal area, it feels like a false recapitulation. It is not until measure 57 that we get the principal theme in the tonic key, closing in a perfect authentic cadence at measure 65. To bring the piece to a close, Mozart enters into a short coda. The lower 3 voices remain in a homophonic texture, much like the rest of the piece, but the sopranos are given a descant-like melisma that is nearly identical to the violin part in measures 24 through 27. I believe this move helps to add some structural unity to the piece. I think sonata form is a good fit for this piece. It has 3 distinct sections and includes the harmonic elements you would expect in the form. The recapitulation is slightly unconventional, but still consistent. I think it is clear that Mozart had sonata form in mind when he began composing this piece. Thanks for watching.